Hi guys, I just wanted to share today some observations I've made since joining a local band here in North Carolina and becoming part of the local music scene. I'm not originally from North Carolina. I grew up in New Jersey and I was not at all part of the local music scene there. And when I moved here, I spent the first few years just sort of locked in my room playing guitar and working and playing guitar and learning about recording and stuff. And I was really, really intimidated by joining a local music scene. I had no idea what I was going to encounter, especially if I was trying to play out on a regular basis and hopefully join like a national touring band one day. That's my goal, right? But what I ran into was not at all what I was ready for or expecting. That's for sure. The first thing that I discovered, and this isn't necessarily in any particular order, but one thing I discovered is that everyone is constantly trying to convince you they are a big deal. And some of that makes sense. Some of that is okay. Like, I'm not offended by it, and it makes a lot of sense to me because, of course, if you're in a band, you're trying to convince people around you that you're a big deal and you're going places so that people will get emotionally invested in your band. And I get it, because that's how you get fans. Okay, whatever. But I just wasn't ready for everyone. Promoters, photographers, lawyers, managers, venue owners, other musicians, everyone telling me how important they were. And at first, I just did not know how to sort through it at all. And I've discovered that about 95% of it's bullshit, approximately. And you know, some people really are just a big deal and that awesome. And sometimes they're trying to convince you of that to get something from you. And now it's just about, for me anyway, it's just about kind of, okay, yeah, that's great. And then like going home and researching them and sorting through it and figuring out what's real and what's not. Because, wow, I just wasn't ready for it. I was completely overwhelmed when it first started and bought a lot of things that were just absolutely not true. The second thing I've noticed is that people blame the local music scene for everything that goes wrong with their band. Like, if they don't sell merch at a show, it's because the scene is dead. If they don't sell, or if no one comes to one of their shows, it's because the hardcore scene is dead. That's what it's about. It's not that my band isn't good, or we didn't promote the show. The hardcore scene is dead. That's what it is. Or the metal scene, or the pop scene, or whatever. People are always talking about how the scene is dead. And admittedly, there are times when there aren't a lot of listeners for a certain type of music in an area. That's fair. But if you're trying to put on a jazz, gent, prog, ukulele-based show in Raleigh, yeah, I mean, it's possible that I would probably come to it. I know Jeremy Progressive Field would probably come to it. But not a lot of people are going to go to that show and buy your merch afterwards. And you just have to kind of be okay with that. Sorry, it's not the scene's fault. It's the fact that you make this really niche kind of music that no one understands. And people also obsess over the scene instead of just realizing that there's this whole thing called the internet out there. And chances are, even your jazz, gent, prog, ukulele-based music has some listeners out there. You just have to go find them on the internet. I just didn't expect people to complain constantly and blame the local music scene for everything that goes wrong with their band, or everything that doesn't go right with their band is really what it is. The last thing I want to talk about today is just this attitude I've observed in some artists and some local musicians. And it's not just here, it's national acts too. But people really act like the world owes them something. And I'm going to be specific here because it's important. I'm not like trying to paint with too broad a brush. But people really in the scene I've run into spend a lot of time on the internet complaining that people don't come out and, quote, support local music. And my question for them is, well, if people are going to spend their money on something, shouldn't you make sure it's really good? If I were to go shop for any product, I would read reviews first. I would look up how to use it online. I would make sure it was good and it was high quality and I could get my money back if it broke. And that's not an option if I'm spending $10 to get into a local music show. I can't get my money back. It's not, you know, I don't, there's no money back guarantee on that. It's just that local artists act like people owe them support. And I don't understand that. I don't understand it for national acts either. But my attitude is this: if you want people to come to your shows, put on a better show. That's all there is to it for me. If you want people to support you, give them a reason to. They don't owe you anything simply because you're in the special field that everyone should go out of their way to support. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about today. And I hope that you've enjoyed it. And if you have any similar experiences, or if you completely disagree with me, let me know in the comments. If you like my Ron Swanson mug, let me know, because you're probably really awesome. So yeah, anyway, cheers.